This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, 106. Go ahead.
All right, let's do it. It's time for your re-rank show. Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, Lloyd Cole. Every summer we do our top 60 and 60, where we count down the 60 players, best players in the state of Utah that we project will be the 60. Now, we don't do it. We give you the players, and then we have a bunch of people vote on it. We stay out of it, and all of our voters come together, and they vote for the top 60 players. Now, at the end of the season, myself, Hans, Lloyd, we sit in Lloyd's little office and we come together and we rank the top 25. So as much as I'd love to pass this on to Jeremiah and Sam Farnsworth and Greg Wrubell and all these other guys that vote in our top 60 and 60, this is actually on us.
Yep, this is all us. By the way, it's weird having the cameras on us.
It is.
This has not been done since Wayne's World decided to give it a go. You know, they wanted to put some cameras on a couple of dudes. They wanted to see how it worked out. It worked out for Wayne, worked out for Garth. Now Scotty and I give it a try.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We don't have Tia Carrera.
No. Nope.
So that puts us behind the ball a little bit. What were the other good parts of Wayne's World?
Tia Carrera and Tia Carrera, I think.
What did Wayne and Garth do in particular? Did they just review music? Is that what they did?
I'm not exactly sure what they did.
I just remember they had their own little home TV show. So, and it was successful.
And it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one I remember is Tom Green.
Not quite as good.
We're more Wayne's World than we are Tom.
Than we are Tom Green, yeah.
Now, Tom turned that into an MTV career that was incredible.
Well, we're off to a spectacular start, though.
Well, that's the start of audio and video.
That's
together.
what we do. Yep. We bring it all together in one happy family, and it is time to rank the top 25 players in the state of Utah based on last season alone, right?
Yep.
So this is based on what we saw from last season. This isn't from 2 seasons ago. This is based on last year. So, Hans, should we start out number 25?
Yeah.
He was top 5 in our top 60 and 60, but slips all the way to 25. Brant Keithy from the University of Utah.
Right out of the gates, you're going to see that it was really tough to rank individuals that were injured. It's really tough to rank them. And Brant Keithy slipped in there because he did get through 9 games. He did have 505 yards of receiving. He had 6 touchdowns. He actually outscored most of your top-end receivers in just the 9 games that he played. He also had 8 carries for 50 yards. He did a lot of things for the University of Utah in 9 games, enough that he had to slip into the top 25. But understand, when you get injured and you don't play all 12, there is some repercussion on that.
Yeah.
Maybe Brant finishes in the top 5 if he goes through 12 and he finishes with 850 yards receiving and 180 yards in carry, and he ends up with 12 or 13 all-around touchdowns, but that's just not the case for Brant.
And missed the final 3 games of the season. He had the biggest game of the year in that game against Houston where he had 5 catches, 113 yards, and 1 touchdown. But I don't think there was anybody that was more affected by the loss of Cam Rising than Brant Keithy, because he had that first game of the year against Southern Utah. He had 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, and 69 yards. And then Cam goes out, and it's not quite the same for him after that.
Change for Brant. But Brant is, as long as he can stay healthy, he is an NFL tight end.
Yep.
And he does deserve to be in the top 25. But he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to want it too. You know, he may be just done with rehab. I don't know. He's been through it a lot. And extensive rehab to try to get his body back and ready.
Yeah.
And then the rug's pulled out from under him, and he's probably had letdown after letdown. So he's got to want it. I don't know if he's draftable because of the injuries, but he is somebody that I would give a camp to. If I was a general manager, I'd give him a camp. We'd bring him in. We'd see how we would push his body.
Yes.
First of all, we'd take him through all the rigors of a physical and really double check everything before we gave him a penny or brought him in and took one of our roster spots. But I would absolutely give him a shot to come in. I'll push him physically. If his body can't handle it, we push him out the door.
Is it worth a flyer with the 6th or 7th round?
Yes. To me, because let's say he is healthy. Brankeithy could be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is he doesn't have a Travis Kelce body or a Rob Gronkowski body, or he doesn't have that big blocking body, but he does have better receiving skills.
What's his comp?
Well,
What'd you say?
it would be a lesser sized tight end. Like, I don't know. How big was Jeremy Shockey?
I think Jeremy had him by a bit, but I think that's a fairly decent comp.
My usage would probably be Jeremy Shockey-esque.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot of bump into run. I don't ask him to really set edges. Like, for instance, you watch Travis Kelce give up that sack. We've seen the video 1,000 times where they're sliding protection. Mahomes, like, they're not going to do that with a Brankeithy. They're going to use him more in some type of chip and bump and run and help coverage and that kind of stuff. And then he'll just break into route.
All right, there you go. Number 25 is Brankeithy. Let's stay on the hill for number 24, Junior Tafuna.
So this one is going to be argued. I'm sure a lot of people probably want to see Junior Tafuna a lot higher, but Junior Tafuna didn't play all 12.
Nope.
Tafuna made it through 10 games. And, you look at his tackles and they were okay. 31 tackles. You look at his TFLs and they're kind of on the low end, 3 TFLs. You look at his sacks and they're as low as they could be. They're 0. Never got to the quarterback. He did have a couple of quarterback hurries, and he was definitely a run stop threat. But Junior Tafuna, I know people are going to think, well, why? Wait, what? Well, he didn't stay healthy, and he wasn't the all-time tackler. It wasn't exactly a big threat in big play moments, but he was a great run stop defender.
Missed the TCU game, missed the Houston game, and then just, I don't know. And this is the problem that I think we're going to have with some of these players that didn't play a lot. And when they did play, you could tell they were hampered by injury. We didn't see what we thought we were going to see. Still a great player, still a huge, valuable piece to what the University of Utah was trying to do. But we never saw, it really felt like a full 100% Brankeithy. We never saw, especially the second half of the season, Junior Tafuna firing on all cylinders. And I think it really held him back and held Utah back. And, again, I know there's probably going to be some people a little salty about Junior Tafuna coming up 24. Trust me, that dude's healthy and that guy's rocking and rolling like we anticipated he would. That's a top 5 guy. Certainly a top 7, top 8 guy. But checking in at number 24.
On this list, 24 is the right place for him.
And that's where you got to ask yourself, who are you bumping out?
Mm-hmm.
To go and move them up higher up on the list. All right, number 23, our first Cougar coming off the board, Blake Mengelson, checking in at number 23.
Blake was one of my favorite players throughout the year and one of my favorite to call. And he is going to get an NFL opportunity. My guess is he'll be a nice interior look. He might even make it for 2 or 3 years in the NFL because of his athleticism on the inside. But Blake Mengelson's numbers, 37 tackles, 5.5 TFLs, 2 sacks. He was a half a sack away from being the sack leader, or I guess a sack and a half away from being the sack leader. Well, actually, Jack Kelly ended up with, 5.5?
Yeah, 5.5.
And I think Glasgow ended up with 3.5. So, yeah, he's a couple away from being your sack leader. But 2 sacks, multiple quarterback pressures, multiple quarterback hits. He was actually a major part of that number 18 overall defense that only allowed 317 yards. So Blake Mengelson gets the thumbs up.
Well, and to your credit, when we go back to the start of the season and we were all concerned about the BYU defense and could they stop the run? Could they get a pass rush? And you said, hey, there's some guys up front that I'm not overly concerned about. And Blake was one of those guys that you pointed out early on, said they're going to be okay with Blake.
Yeah, moved him from outside to inside. And they did that early. So they knew through spring, they knew through fall. And he definitely made everybody happy. I think that may have been a Jay Hill / Gary Anderson vision on what Blake could be. And it was the best decision for him.
You look on the season, as you mentioned, 37 tackles, but the TFLs, the sacks, and everything else that he had piled up this year, and just what BYU was able to do defensively. We're going to see a lot of that BYU front seven show up on this list.
Well, and he had a big interception. I think it might have been against Baylor. I can't remember if he tipped it to Tyler Batty or Tyler Batty tipped it to Blake Mangelson, but I think
it was against Baylor.
Yeah. Yep. And that was, it was a tipped ball. I think Tyler Batty tipped it and Blake came down with it. It was a big possession early on that road game against Baylor. Anytime he came up with the sack, it felt like it was such a critical moment sack. He had a tipped pass that ended up in an interception to Tyler Batty.
Yes.
Because they kind of traded that for each other. So Blake was a big time playmaker, and he was just one of my favorites. He was a monster at gap spark. He was always in the backfield because he's so quick. His first step's so quick. He's an outside guy playing inside, but he did put on inside weight though.
Yes. And handled himself very well. That can be an easy transition to make. You went from end to D tackle, correct?
Yeah. Sophomore year played D end, and junior and senior year played D tackle. And it's a definite shift. I had to put on about 15 pounds.
They say just load up on the donuts and ice cream.
Yes. We'll just leave it at that.
Go spend some time up in that fudge factory of your mom's.
Well, that doesn't hurt. You can put on weight fast.
Yeah.
Falling asleep with caramel in your mouth. It's good.
I like turtles. All right, let's move on. Checking in. Let's stay on the defensive side and let's stay on the D line. Let's go to Logan for number 22, Kean Sloan, who not only led Utah State in sacks, led the state of Utah in sacks at 7.5 sacks on the season last year. Your state leader in sacks.
Well, I want to defer to you on this one. It was crazy because Utah State had statistical leaders across the board.
Yeah.
Every major category.
Rushing leader, also the receiving leader. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in the list. But Kean Sloan, and this was, not only did he have 7.5 sacks, he had 9.5 TFLs on the year, but he was a guy that did not get a huge amount of opportunities early in the season. Played well at the end of the season before this past year, and yet this new staff came in with Nate Dreiling and that new defensive staff, and eventually obviously became the new head coach for the last season, and said, we're going to recruit over the top of you. And so they did that. And Kean Sloan went from being a huge contributor to not being a contributor hardly at all until everybody started getting injured in front of him. So now the opportunities started to increase for him. And what did he do? Instead of mope and say, oh, now you need me. Fine. I'm here for you. He said, okay, let's roll. And he ends up with 7.5 sacks and was absolutely a menace for a lot of offenses on the year. He has a high motor, may not have the size that a lot of people need or would like, but you know what? He makes up for it with an incredible motor, was living in the backfield near the end of the year, and again, just a tremendous asset for Utah State, his senior year there at Utah State. Just a heck of a player, heck of a motor, good kid.
Where did he come from?
Came from California, JC kid. Dealt with a lot of injuries in high school, which forced him to take the junior college route. And who knows? He may be a guy that could also get a little extra eligibility with the whole JC rules.
Wouldn't suck having him.
Yeah.
How is Utah State defense front coming back like that?
A lot of new faces. Yeah. A lot of new faces. And, Bronco Mendenhall is going to rework that defensive front for sure. All right, let's move back to BYU. Number 21, Hands. Darius Lassiter coming in at 21.
So Darius Lassiter, our first receiver off the board. Man, Darius was good. He was good. He was good in big play moments. He could get down the field. And what's crazy was the tighter Darius Lassiter was covered, the more likely it was going to be a reception. I feel like every one of his drop balls was just a wide open route where nobody was around him. And every one of his big moments was in double coverage where a ball was hitting on a spot over the top and he pulled it in. But Darius Lassiter was critical to what BYU did. Who was it that he caught? Oh, Oklahoma State. In the closing seconds of that game. Wasn't it Darius Lassiter?
Yep.
On a skinny post. I think that there was some creativity in what he did and Jake Retzlaff finding him in that route. But Darius Lassiter had big play after big play and closed out that win against Oklahoma State, if I remember it correctly.
Had 120 yards against Baylor, and that Oklahoma State game, 6 catches, 129 yards, and a touchdown.
And that touchdown, I think, was the game winner.
And he had
35-yard pass.
His last 100-yard game was 103 against Arizona State in that tough loss, but 28-23. But again, a guy who you saw make huge contributions throughout the course of the season, missed the first game of the year, and then still was able to pile up over 700 yards receiving with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 10 seconds left. That's right, Lloyd. 35 yards, 10 seconds left, Oklahoma State. And I remember sitting in the booth thinking, wow, this winning run has come to an end, and lo and
Game's
behold.
over.
Yeah,
Over.
It was over. It was over.
There's no
And
shot.
he looks him up, and Darius makes one guy miss. And by the way, big thanks to Nate Dowdle. I've got the stream up here in front of me. And for those of you that aren't watching on the stream, this is awesome because Nate's pulled together some of the best highlights of each of these individuals. And I'm watching Darius on that Oklahoma State catch make the move, force a defender to miss, and gets to the end zone to close out that win for BYU. And some of his big catches in the end zone, some of his celebration dances. Darius was a spark plug, and Darius is another one of those guys. It's like, does he have eligibility? Does he not have eligibility? This is what I can tell you about Darius. He wants to come back and play again for BYU. He wants another collegiate year. I hope that he gets it. I don't know where he stands with it. Caleb Etienne announced that he was moving on. I don't think Darius Lassiter has announced that yet. I think that they're trying to work through some eligibility things and see if they could put him and Chase Roberts back on the field together. That would be a magnificent combo back for a third year together if they could get it done.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's something that if BYU is able to make that happen, yeesh. All right, let's go to number 20. Back to the University of Utah. Teo Johnson coming in at number 20.
So Teo Johnson is a spectacular play out of the backfield, and he was one of those guys that had racked up the tackle numbers that we had to take a good look at.
Yeah.
70 tackles on the year. He was not the tackle leader. He was just behind Lander Barton as the tackle leader, but Teo Johnson was excellent in coverage. And remember, we talk about this BYU defense, the number 18 defense in the country, but let's not forget that Utah's defense was spectacular too. Number 30 defense in the country, only giving up 325 yards. The number 41st defense in the country, only 200 yards a game. And Teo Johnson was largely responsible for that. He had 4 pass breakups in the season. He had an interception in the season. He did play all 12 games.
Yep.
Which, we did give extra credit for any player that made it through all 12 games. I think he was one of the most stable things that Utah had in their backfield.
And you look at his 70 tackles on the season, and he's just reliable every game. 6, 7, 8, 9 tackles, 5 tackles. I mean, you just knew what you were going to get out of him all year long. Big one against Iowa State where he ratcheted up 8 tackles in that tough loss, but then played well against Central Florida. Again, you look at the long line of safeties coming through the University of Utah, and he's only a sophomore, and you're going to continue to add him to the list of successful players.
And he didn't transfer.
And he
hasn't transferred.
Nate's playing the video right now, and it's showing Teo and his forced fumble against Colorado. It's big plays like that you just love from these guys, and that you have to have from these safeties or these defensive backs in this Utah organization. That you've got to have them. You got to have the Cole Bishop.
Yep.
You got to have the DeJuan Blair. Is it DeJuan Blair?
DeJuan Blair?
Was that his first name? DeJuan? Blair was his last name.
I don't think it's DeJuan Blair.
Trying to remember what his first name was. Something Blair. He was the biggest hitter in Utah.
Marquise Blair.
Marquise Blair.
I was like, DeJuan Blair, the basketball player?
I was going to say, yeah, the guy at Pitt
the guy that has
didn't
bad
have an
knees?
ACL. Yeah.
Jeez. Marquise Blair.
Yeah.
You got to have that guy. Marquise was unbelievable. Do you remember how good that dude was?
Yeah, he put a hat on you.
He would rip everybody in half.
Yeah.
And he would make big play after big play. But congratulations to Teo Johnson. A great season from him.
All right, we'll work in one more before the break. Go back to BYU. let's go to the running back position. LJ Martin at number 19. Martin coming in at 19.
You used to watch that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Gina!
Damn, Gina.
Man, I love that show. You know, I went to one recording of Jay Leno. And the one recording I went to, it was Martin.
Oh, yeah?
It was his guest.
Nice.
And he did some stand-up. And I was probably 8 rows back. And it was great, man. Jay was great. I remember cheering my butt off. They had this guy that pulled like 75 Christmas lights out of his belly. He had ingested.
He ingested them?
Yeah,
And then
he had ingested a full strand of Christmas lights, and he just kept pulling Christmas lights out of his mouth.
were they lit?
They were lit.
Wow.
Yeah, they were lit.
That can't be comfortable.
No, it was bonkers.
All right, Lloyd, sorry. Lloyd's like, bring it back. All right, let's talk about LJ Martin. On the season, 137 carries, 718 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaged 71 yards a game. And it kind of felt like early in the year, it's like, okay, they've got nobody else, so LJ is going to get the carries. But then as the season went on, you realize, okay, that freshman season wasn't a fluke. This guy actually is good. He's earned the job, and he's holding it down and playing well. And they've got an anchor there at running back.
They got an anchor. And where he and Jake Ritzloff really do share a lot of the running duties, it's a good combo. I'm sure that BYU fans are going to want LJ to be higher. But as we go through it, you're going to see why he checks in at number 19. It's or 18.
Yeah, 18.
It's why he checked in at number 18. It's the right place for him.
And again, you have to ask yourself, if you're going to move him up, who are you moving down?
Yeah. And that's the most difficult thing is Lloyd, Scotty, and I sit down for, 3 days we did this?
Yeah.
As we sit down and we just try to really crunch the numbers, it's like, yeah, LJ probably deserves to be higher, but there's running backs with more yards. There's running backs with more receiving yards. There's running backs that are actually probably a touch better in pocket protection. But LJ Martin all around has been really good for BYU. And by the time he leaves, he's going to be knocking on the door of a lot of records.
LJ Martin at number 18. We'll announce our next 5 in our top 60 and 60, top 25 re-rank as we re-rank the players from the state of Utah based on their 2024 numbers. Make sure to join Jake and Ben this Thursday from 10 to noon at Peach Windows and Doors, 2940 South, 300 West in Salt Lake City. You can check them out online too at peachbuildingproducts.com. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits,
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet,
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day.
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet,
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day.
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It is your top 25 re-rank. Hans, myself, Lloyd Cole, we all sat together and tried to rank your top 25 players from this past season. And I'm sure all of you are going to be very thrilled about how this plays out.
Well, so far everybody's been happy. 25 through 19.
Yep.
So,
25, Brant Keithy. 24, Junior Tafuna. Blake Mengelson at 23. Kean Sloan from Utah State at 22. Darius Lassiter at 21. Teo Johnson at 20. And LJ Martin at 19. And now coming in at number 18, someone who we felt like before the season would be in the running for the number 1 spot on the re-rank before the season started. But again, just couldn't quite get it going throughout the majority of the year. Lander Barton checks in at number 18 from the University of Utah.
Lander Barton with 72 tackles, 5 TFLs. He had a couple of sacks, a couple of interceptions, and he was still very solid.
Yes, great season, just not the season we thought.
Not the season we thought, and there were moments where Lander looked a little bit behind. And in talking to people, he went through a very significant injury. He had to rehab a very significant injury, and I know that he was dealing with some other things through the season. So I still want to see Lander at the top of his game. I've got to imagine that Lander on next year's 60 and 60 is going to be high on the list, but I think that 18 this season for Lander Barton is probably about right. He did fill up the box score, and he did do a lot of things that made that Utah defense very solid, but felt like he could have been better.
He played in 5 more games than he did the year before because he had injury the year before. 5 more games, and he only registered like 28 more tackles.
Yeah.
In 5 more games.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of an offseason. He did have 4 pass breakups this season.
Well, he still was.
He's a phenomenal player.
Still very special.
Yeah. But a guy that I think a lot of us anticipate eventually will be a top 3 round NFL draft pick. And I think this offseason, being healthy this offseason, going into spring ball and then going into fall camp is going to be very critical for him.
It's just we put such high expectations on the kid.
I
did. I'll take all the blame for that because he's the 3rd Barton to come through the University of Utah. And Cody Barton was great. He was great. And I thought that his time there at the back end was way better than anybody could have ever expected. The Barton that was the tackle, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Panned out well, had some time in the NFL, and was great. But we all put this on Lander being the best Barton, the best of all the Barton. I put it on him. And I still expect him to be the best Barton when all is said and done.
I do too. All right. Guess what? It is time for your first quarterback. Is he the only quarterback? Jake Retzloff makes the list of the top 25 re-rank, coming in at number 17.
Number 17 for BYU's quarterback that did a lot of special things for BYU and kept him in the middle of the ranks offensively. He was your rushing leader through like 7 or 8 games until LJ Martin really found his health and found his stride. So he was giving you rushing yards. He ended up with nearly 500 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns on the ground. As you mentioned, 20 touchdowns through the air. Where Jake Retzloff needs to get better for BYU to take the next step. And people can write this down, but you're going to hear it 100 times between now and when BYU kicks off their season. He has to get better in the hurry-up offense. Mm-hmm. If he can improve his consistency and he can shave off those turnovers in high-pace, quick-to-the-ball offense, and Aaron Roderick can run that up-tempo and not worry about him throwing a pick every time he calls a fade route, Jake Retzloff will take that next step, and BYU will take that next step offensively. That's the layer that's missing. I can't run hurry-up with him because it is going to lead to an interception. If I can run a hurry-up and I can throw in those wrinkles along with taking my time and destroying the clock and having LJ Martin behind me and Chase Roberts to the outside, then I could do a lot of good. So Jake Retzloff's got a lot of room to improve, but good for him making the top 25.
Expectations, though, are going to be sky high for him. And really, expectations for BYU are going to be sky high coming into this upcoming season. And a lot of it depends on the progression from Jake Retzloff.
Yeah. 58% completions.
Needs to be higher.
Yards. Yeah. 3,000 yards. Needs to be a little higher.
Interceptions need to be down a little bit.
Interceptions can't have 12. Can't do double-digit things.
Got to be single-digit interceptions. Boost those yards up. A little bit more efficient. A little bit. But here's the thing. From his first year at BYU to last year, huge improvement. If he can take that next step into his third year at BYU, then off you go. He's going to be great.
Again, a big shout-out to Nate Dowdle. He's put together some great cuts here, and this is fun just kind of reliving it, watching it. And you can follow that at kslsports.com/stream.
Yep.
And jump on. Scotty and I are on camera, and we've got these clips playing, and this is a lot of fun. This is a really cool thing that Nate puts together. But these clips of Jake Retzlaff just show that he's got amazing escapability. He's got great body awareness. He can extend a pocket. He can make most your throws. He's got a strong enough arm to make most your throws. And I'm excited to see what happens with a tight end like Carson Ryan, because I think Carson's more of a complete tight end. I think that can really help him. And if he does get Darius Lassiter back, then he's got Chase Roberts and Darius on the outside. You could have a really special season, really, really special season with Jake, because you saw it, but then you had those moments of letdown. The Arizona State game, again, there's things that I don't sleep well at night because I relive things, because you're an Arizona State throw away from being in that Big 12 championship game.
I know. All right, let's move on. Our next selection, checking in at number 16. I feel like Casey Kasem. Kids don't even know who Casey Kasem is.
No, they don't.
Coming in at number 16, Van Fillinger from the University of Utah. Led the team in sacks at 6 sacks on the season for the University of Utah. Ended up with 44 tackles and 9 TFLs on the season. There were moments this year where he looked absolutely fantastic, and he comes in at number 16.
Missed a couple of games.
Did.
And that did hurt him in a re-rank. I think if he runs a complete season and he's able to put a complete season worth of numbers up there, he's probably state sack leader.
I agree.
So
had 4.5 sacks in his first 3 games.
Yeah. He started out just on fire.
Yeah. And it's tough because Van has dealt with a couple of seasons of injury, and he's missed a few games because of injury. And I'm a big fan of what he did. Van is a very well-coached edge. You know, he's been in that system for how many years? It feels like Van's been there.
His first year was that COVID year, 2020. So he's had 5 years there at the University of Utah.
5 years at Utah.
And it just feels like the other day, he's like, oh, look at this freshman coming out of nowhere and making plays.
Yeah. Who was that other edge that came in with him and then transferred out? Like Xavier something.
Oh, who was that?
You know, the guy, I think he was out of Juan Diego. And I remember those two came in together, and I remember I was having a conversation with one of the coaches up there saying, who do you think's going to come out of this race? And Xavier Carlton. I said, who do you think's going to come out of this race? And he said, there's no question, Van's the better player. So they all knew Van was the better player. And I think Van has been spectacular for the University of Utah. And that was a favorable position for him, and a lot of that had to do with what he did in his TFLs.
Yes.
Because he was up the field making plays.
Let's go back to the University of Utah for our next selection and stay on the defensive side. Linebacker Karini Reed coming in at number 15.
This was a really tough one.
Yeah, this one, we really had a hard time with this one.
Really tough one. Because out of Van Fillinger, who we've already announced, Junior Tafuna. So Van made it through 10 games. Junior made it through 10 games. And Karini Reed made it through 8.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, can we put Karini in front of those guys? But then when we boiled it down, Karini was just better than them at the game of football and the reps that he took on the field for the University of Utah.
Yeah.
And so with only 8 games played, put together 54 tackles, he had 6 TFLs, he had 3 sacks, he had some quarterback hurries, he had fumble recoveries. He loaded up the box score in the 8 games that he played, but it was just evident that he was the better player on the field when he was on the field, and he did make it through 8 games, and he was still top 5 in tackles, and he still did a lot of things for the University of Utah that led us to put him as high as we did.
I mean, if you just take his numbers and say, okay, he played 12 games, he's still right where he's at in this ranking. And that's the way we kind of had to look at it. Your numbers are going to stand on its own, whether you played 12 games, whether you played 8 games. But Carini Reed did have that 4-game stretch where he missed 4 games through the course of the season. But yet when he was out there, nobody can doubt how special of a player he is.
Ooh. Nate's got a clip of Carini against, what is that, UCF, where he's jumping him? He's jumping over him and it just leaping the running back as the running back's stepping up to set pocket, and Carini just hops over the top of him. He's showing his scoop and score. There were so many big moments for Carini Reed. And I'm a little bit partial to Carini.
Yeah,
he
played with his dad.
Played with his dad, and I know the family well, so big fan of him. And, and by the way, probably your top Senior Bowl star out of the state?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, there were a lot of guys that were mentioned.
Jalen Royals had a nice run, but I think Reed probably your biggest standout.
Reed was big.
Yeah.
He was big in that Senior Bowl.
All right, and one more selection before we go to break. Coming in at number 14, Hands, time to go to the big uglies up front. Connor Pay, BYU.
Connor Pay, he missed a couple of games, and when he was out, there was a noticeable difference, and it was really sad to see him miss any games. But veteran leader, possible draft pick. If he does get drafted, it'll probably be 6-7. My guess is he'll have the career path of James Impey. And I would say that there were a lot of similarities to what Connor Pay did to what James Impey did. James, I think, made it in the league for 3-4 years. I think, what was he, a 6th round, 7th round draft pick maybe?
But he hung in there.
For a few years. And that's what I expect from Connor, unless he can catch some lightning in a bottle, stays extremely healthy, and shows that he's overly intelligent, that he can play a swing center guard position. Those are the things that he needs. He's got to be extremely intelligent. That's one of the things that I've been teaching my son as an offensive lineman. If you want to make it, you've got to be able to scan a field. As a center or a guard, an interior player, you got to be able to scan a field. And you got to make quick calls, and you got to direct traffic, and you got to be able to make those adjustments without being told by your O-line coach on the sideline or your quarterback that's like, why did you give up that again? Why did you not? If he can make those adjustments when he's in an NFL camp, then he'll stick around for a while.
Yeah.
Because he's got the body type, he can do it.
All right, we'll announce our next 3 selections, get you to the top 10 that we will announce coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. It's our top 25 re-rank. Remember, it's all available for you right now at KSLSports.com/stream. You can see the stream of Hands and I and all the video clips and all the highlight clips. Nate's done a tremendous job putting that together. You can also watch it on the app, the KSL Sports app. Download that sucker and get it on your phone ASAP. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
With the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet,
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day.
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet,
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day.
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, we're going to give you our next three selections in our top 60 and 60, top 25 re-rank. Before we do that, though, Hans, let's give away some tickets. It's a Wednesday, which means it's a Win Ticket Wednesday. Call in number 12, 801-575 Zone. You win a pair of tickets to see Kevin Hart in the Acting My Age Tour coming to the Delta Center on April 18th. Tickets now available at SeatGeek.com, but you can win them right now just by being call number 12, 801-575 Zone. All right, Hans, let's move on with the countdown, and let's go to number 13 as we wrap up the top 15. Let's go with Harrison Taggart, number 13 for BYU.
Harrison was good. He was really just a solid tackler. And there's a couple of guys that really exceeded my expectation. And there's a couple of guys in the top 5 that really exceeded my expectation. But Harrison Taggart was no different. I didn't expect him to be as good as he was. Mm-hmm. And I think that he took a lot from Justin Enna. I think that he's learned a lot from the addition of Gary Anderson. And I think that he just came into what he needed to do. Remember, my biggest criticism after year 1 of Harrison Taggart was he was allowing linemen to get to him at 4 or 5 yards deep. He was absorbing the contact, wasn't creating the contact, and was getting moved out of gaps, getting moved out of holes. And in the tackles he was making them 7, 8 yards down the field. He's turned that around quite a bit. And Harrison Taggart was a sure tackler. 69 tackles, 2.5 TFLs. He had an interception. He had multiple quarterback hurries and was a massive part of that number 18 overall defense.
It really blows me away that BYU improved that position group in a year where they lost Max Tooley, AJ Bongpachon, and, you go down the list, Ben Bywater, and, those guys are off the board, and yet that position group got better. At least you got better production from players who I didn't think could be even remotely as close as those 3 guys were from the previous year.
Biggest surprise of the entire season for me, in the state, was the production of BYU's linebackers.
All right, number 12, a young man who came into these studios and announced where he was going to be playing college football. His sophomore season ranks him as the number 12th player in the state of Utah, Smith Snowden from the Utes.
Very deserving, and Smith was another one that we looked at putting higher because his production was great. He ended up with 48 tackles. He had 4 TFLs. Brought off that corner blitz or that nickel blitz quite often and did a fantastic job. Couple of interceptions, 8 pass breakups.
That's a lot.
I think he was number 2 in the state in pass breakups. Was he number 1 or number 2 in the state?
I
think he was number 1 in the state on PBUs.
Trying to look at some of the others across the state.
Yeah, I think he might have been number 1 in the state in pass breakups. But another thing about Smith Snowden is I think he had a lot of opportunity to move on down the line, make a lot of money. And he's a Utah man. That dude lives and breathes it. And he loves the University of Utah, loves the coaches he plays for. So really happy for Smith Snowden.
Ike Larson actually had 9 PBUs.
Okay, so he was 1 ahead of him.
Yeah, interesting. By the way, Ike did not make our top 25 re-rank.
Yeah.
just on the outside. That was one of the debates that we had. And Ike is on the outside looking in. Let's go to number 11 as we wrap up. Number 25 through number 11, Caleb Etienne. Wrapping up his career at BYU, announcing that he's on his way to the NFL draft. Here's a guy that, frankly, a lot of us, myself included, thought that was just in a really bad spot coming into this season. Did not like some of the moments that he played the year before, but you were really quick as we got into the season, said, hey, I went back and looked at the film. It wasn't as bad as a lot of us thought it was. And then as the season went on, he got better and better. TJ Woods was very good for him.
Very, very good. And he was good for himself. You know,
Yep.
He transformed his body, took a lot of weight off. He upped his speed. His first step was great. He always had powerful hands. It's always a big body, so he had the power that he needed. He just needed the feet to get him to where he needed to be to catch the block. And TJ Woods really helped him with that. But I'd give 95% of the credit directly to Caleb Etienne.
Yeah.
Because he worked his butt off. My issue with Caleb before the season got started was I felt like BYU was going to recruit over the top of him. I felt like they were going to go to the transfer portal, and I felt like they were going to try to find a couple of different bodies that they could play in front of him. And Caleb just continued to beat him out. Beat him out through spring, beat him out through fall camp. He ended up getting the start. Made it really clear to Coach Woods that he was going to be the man. And he was the better part of the bookend between he and Kime before Kime got injured.
Yeah.
But those two offensive tackles were lights out together. And Caleb has worked himself into a possible draft. He might be a 5th or 6th round pick.
And he must be getting some good feedback. I would have loved to see him come back for another year. But if you get feedback from the league that says, hey, you know what, we think you're a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick, then, you know, maybe he's at a point in his life where he's like, you know, I'm ready to make that jump. I would love to see him back there at Provo for another year.
Well, and I wonder, I don't know what, that's the hardest thing about what's going on right now in this world. I don't know transfer portal stuff with eligibility.
Yeah.
Because Caleb Etienne did have a year of JUCO, and his eligibility was going to run out, so probably could have used a year. But I want everybody to understand, Caleb Etienne would have made $750,000 in one more year of college football.
Yeah, whether it was at BYU or somebody else.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
He'd have made $750,000. And
because you and I know of guys that are making $750,000 that do not have the resume of Caleb Etienne.
right. And BYU could have paid him that. Just so everybody's really clear.
Yeah.
BYU could have paid him $750,000, and they could have kept him around. So I don't know if he bumped into some eligibility issues, or as Scotty mentioned, he was told, "We're going to draft you, and your rookie minimum is $850,000. So you'll get a signing bonus of maybe $120,000 to $250,000, depending on where he's drafted, 5th round or 7th, or even as a free agent, might see $60,000 cash, and then lands the roster and makes that $850,000. It's just working for your money in the NFL is a lot more difficult than working for your money at the college level.
Yeah.
Because nothing is guaranteed. They can't cut you at the college level because of work or because of
NCAA pay for play
right
rules. Yeah.
But they can't cut you because of your lack of play.
Production. Yeah. Yep.
But they can in the NFL.
Yep.
So
and they will.
So yeah. So Caleb has decided he's going to go try some big boy football, and I'm not as settled on him making that transition to NFL as some, but I do think he's going to get a really good shot. We'll see how his feet work at that level.
All right, take a break, come back. The final hour of the program and the final 10 selections of our top 25 ranking. Number 10 through number 1. We will announce those throughout the next hour right here on 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
With the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
With the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, final hour of the program as we announce the final 10 in our top 25 re-rank. We take the top 25 players. This one, we would love to punt off and blame other people, but this is all us. Now, the top 60 and 60, which we'll do in the summer, our preseason rankings, that is not us. We use about 20 different voters from across the state of Utah. We compile all their ballots, and that's how we get our top 60 and 60. However, The re-rank at the end of the season is you, me, and Lloyd. Mostly Lloyd, though.
Mostly you guys. No, very little. So I've kind of stayed out of it.
Just to recap, 25 through 11, Brant Keithy at 25, Junior Tafuna at 24, Blake Mengelson at 23, Kean Sloan from Utah State at 22, from BYU, Darius Lassiter at number 20, Utah's Teo Johnson, BYU's LJ Martin at 19, Lander Barton from Utah at 18, Jake Retzloff. Is he the only quarterback? Well, he checked in at number 17, Van Fillinger at 16, Karenni Reed at 15, Connor Pay at 14, Harrison Taggart from BYU at 13, Smith Snowden from Utah at 12, Caleb Etienne at 11, and Hans now at number 10 from BYU, Jacob Robinson.
Well, Jacob Robinson was very, very special. Very special. And has been special for a lot of years for BYU. And I'm not saying that this is a life achievement for him to break into the top 10 because the season was worthy in and of itself. Jacob Robinson pulled down 3 interceptions, had 5 pass breakups. He was the king of turnovers. And remember, this was a team that was in the top 20 in turnover margin. They forced 27 to the Colorado State game, to Alamo Bowl. How many did they have in the Alamo Bowl? Do you remember?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up here real quick.
They had 27 turnovers forced going into the Alamo Bowl against Colorado. And I'm trying to, off my mind, recall how many they had.
2 interceptions against Colorado. And then let's see here. Actually, let me just look at this turnover margin here. Game log. Colorado. 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions?
Yep.
So they ended up with 29 forced turnovers.
Yep.
And an incredible plus-minus margin in the turnover battle. A huge percentage of that was Jacob
You go
Robinson.
+8 in the turnover margin, you're going to win a lot of games. I mean, that's a scary good number.
Is that what they finished, was 8?
+8. They were actually -1 in the Colorado game. They actually threw 3 interceptions in that game.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that because I knew that they were +9 going into that game. And that's right, they did.
I'd forgotten
I
about
forgot
the picks.
that there was some picks in there.
But BYU last year was just +1, and then they go to +8. That's why you win a lot more games than you did the year before.
And a lot of that has to do with Jacob Robinson.
Yes.
43 tackles, and again, 5 TFLs. So they bring him off corners. That he is a classic J Hill corner. And it's also credit to Gennaro Guilford, corners coach at BYU, who just received a pretty sweet honor being named passing defensive coordinator for BYU. So he got a new little label.
It's like, we can't give you a raise, but we'll give you a nice
label.
New title.
I'm going to put coordinator next year.
Yeah, that'll go over well. Actually, I'm sure he got a nice little bump in pay because he deserves it.
Well, he should. He
Yeah.
better, because I know that he was wanted this year.
All right, so Jacob Robinson at number 10. Let's go to your overall leader in tackles in the state of Utah. Back to Logan we go, and a transfer from New Mexico in his first and only year at Utah State, Jordan Vincent, who ends up with 117 tackles on the season, leading the state of Utah in total tackles, checks in at number 9.
The only one to break 100.
Yeah. And not only did he break 100, he went well past it.
Yeah, only one to break 100. So tell me, what type of influence did he have on games?
Huge influence on games because more often than not, he was a lot of touchdown saving tackles. Good in pass defense, but overall, a guy who really had to put himself on the line and make big tackle after big tackle and lead a defense that just got decimated with injuries. And he was one of the very few guys that played every single solitary game for Utah State this past year. He had a bunch of double-digit tackle games, including 15 against Colorado State, 10 against San Diego State, 11 against Washington. He actually had 11 against the University of Utah as well. 10 against USC, or excuse me, 11 against USC. So it didn't matter who they were playing. This guy was all over the field trying to do everything he could to keep Utah State going. But you get 117 tackles. Remember, Utah State did not play in a bowl game. So we got 117 in just 12 games this year. And was just the steadying force, good leader, good locker room guy. He'll be missed next year. I would love to see him back in Logan for another year, but more eligibility.
What was his best attribute as a backer?
Open field tackling. I mean, he didn't miss tackles. He just didn't miss tackles. And a lot of times those tackles were needed because they were 5 to 10 yards down the field because the front seven wasn't getting the job done. And it was between him and the end zone. And more often than not, he was making that tackle.
Is he as good as David Woodward?
No, David Woodward was really special, especially when he was healthy.
David was so good. He's one of my favorite linebackers to come through this state.
And that guy was a different
took
level.
him out, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, concussions did him in, unfortunately. That guy'd still be playing the NFL if he didn't have the concussion problems. But this guy, good in pass coverage, and I want to say on the season ended up with 4 interceptions as well. So we talk about the 117 tackles. He also had the 4 interceptions.
4 picks, 117. I like 9 because Utah State's defense, they had their moments.
Yep.
But you could make an argument with those numbers. He should be in the top 5. But it's tough because these names that we got, number 8 through 1.
Well, and then also Utah State wasn't particularly good defensively.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, I think 9 is probably a really good spot for him where he ended up at.
Tackle leader and 4 interceptions.
4 interceptions. Coming in at number 8, let's go back to BYU hands, Tyler Batty. A guy who had a lot of pressure on him coming into this season and had a really good season.
And Tyler Batty probably 2nd or 3rd in Senior Bowl interest and production and getting all the pub coming out. And I actually think that Senior Bowl and his time in that week of practice, I think that it has jumped his draft stock.
No doubt.
And there's a lot of usage for Tyler Batty. There's a lot of ways that you can use him. I could use him as an interior D lineman. I could use him as an exterior defensive lineman. He's pretty darn durable. He's made it through quite a few years at BYU, and he seems to always be there, always be available. And he did a lot more than even the numbers would show. He ended up with 59 tackles, 7 TFLs, which was spectacular, and 8 quarterback hurries. He was not the sack artist that you would hope or want, but that's not solely what we judged Tyler Batty off of. He was up front. He was most responsible for the stop production that this defense had. And he would tip a pass that would lead to an interception. He would pressure a quarterback in a 3rd down when you absolutely had to have it. Try and remember, I think it was the UCF game in Orlando where he totally controlled one possession that was critical to BYU being able to get the ball back and get the win. I think it was UCF. He had a sack, and then he had a back-to-back sack pressure, and was really special. So he was somebody you can count on. And Tyler Batty, I do think he's a draftable prospect.
I do.
I think he's a draftable prospect. But none of his numbers blew you out of the water. But all of his numbers together, and his production, and how well that BYU defense played, and how much of that was credited to him, landed him at that position.
Tyler Batty is in the top 10 at number 8. Let's stay with BYU, number 7, and let's switch to the offensive side of the ball. Wide receiver, 52 catches, 854 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chase Roberts checking in at number 7. Your second highest rated receiver. We'll announce who the top rated receiver coming up here in just a bit, but great season for Chase Roberts.
And it was somewhere around game 9 or game 10 that he announced that he'd be moving on to the NFL because the production was really good and everything was trending that way. And then postseason, we got the announcement that Chase Roberts would be coming back for his final year of eligibility, which is great news.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with his chemistry and relationship with Jake Retzlaff, the quarterback at BYU. So I'm glad that Chase is back. And Chase's numbers were great, 854 yards, but only 4 touchdowns. Hopefully in this upcoming year, we could see a double-digit touchdown year from Chase Roberts, where they really find a way to use him in the red zone and get him active.
Went the final 5 games of the year without a receiving touchdown. And his biggest game was he ended up with 108 yards on 6 catches against Arizona State. No touchdowns, but that was his biggest game. And then 76 against Houston and only 1 catch for 11 yards against Colorado.
When you needed a play and you needed a first down, it was going to go to Chase Roberts.
Chase was there on that quick slant.
Yep.
His quick slant's almost indefensible. It's just
got those sticky hands.
Sticky hands, and he's a great cut. He'll show a downfield route. He does a really good job of showing a downfield route on a quick slant that forces a corner to at least back off a little bit and respect it, because he doesn't want to get beat deep. Because there was multiple times where Chase did beat you deep on kind of a deep fade look, where Retzlaff would put it on the outside shoulder and over the top of the head, and Chase would chase it down really well. So he was the king of the quick slant and needed down and distance, and will be that again for BYU. And I think that that's a perfect landing spot for him.
I do too. And let's sneak in one more before we go to break, and leads us to our top 5. Number 6, just barely outside the top 5. And we had a lot of conversations about this one, but you look at the numbers and you look at what he meant to that offense. Mekhi Bernard coming in at number 6 for the University of Utah.
Mekhi Bernard, all things, everything for that Utah offense.
Yeah. And I mean, they leaned on him, and he had to do so much for that offense and was the steadying force. You had issues at quarterback. You had issues across the board. But the one guy that you had to rely on game in and game out was Mekhi Bernard. And I know health wasn't, it wasn't quite where he wanted it to be this year, but he did break 1,000 yards rushing on the season. And so he ends up with 197 carries, 1,009 yards, 4 touchdowns. You break that 1,000-yard plateau, and you're having yourself a heck of a year.
So just to run some comparisons between Mekhi Bernard and LJ Martin's usage. Mekhi Bernard had nearly 60 more carries. Mekhi Bernard had nearly 300 plus more yards. Mekhi Bernard was incredible in setting pockets, so good in setting pockets. And then he was also a receiving threat, 30 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns coming out of the backfield and being a target out of the backfield. Mekhi has just been all things, everything. The guy had to switch over and play corner against Ohio State in the stinking Rose Bowl. That is crazy. Just the fact that he said, yeah, I'll give it a shot is wild.
Yeah. If you want me to play, sure, I guess.
And then everybody throws him under the bus for not being able to guard high-level NFL caliber wide receivers in that game.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, at least I was willing to do it.
I'll give it a shot if that's what you need me to do. And the other thing I love about Mekhi, I feel like they've recruited over Mekhi through the portal, all forms, bringing defenders over to play offense. And you go through 3 or 4 different running backs in his time at University of Utah that they kind of fed in to be the starter and to start over him. And Mekhi just ends up continuing to churn away. I think that he's a survivor. I think that he's got a championship heart, and he grinds.
And you might have mentioned this, but the fact that they loaded the box because they could not throw, and he ran for 1,000 yards in a loaded box. Yeah.
All right, your final 5 coming up next. The top 5 in the state of Utah from the 2024 season. We'll announce those coming up next. You're listening to the Top 25 Re-Rank. Hans and Scotty right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you? Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
With the assist by UCCU.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie.
With the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, remember the RV show coming up on Friday, Thursday, and Friday. Jake and Ben are going to be there from 10 o'clock to noon at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. It's your opportunity to shop, compare, and buy the RV of your dreams. See you Friday for the biggest event of the year for all of you RV enthusiasts. And let's be honest here. What better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than to take your wife and go to the RV show?
That's a dang good time. And then buy her an RV.
Buy her an RV.
So the whole family, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, everybody, all 50 of them could go in there.
They'll all fit on that RV of yours, Lloyd. Be like, yep, we can fit them all in there.
Oh, Lloyd are jerks.
Lloyd was doing live hits from the RV show and brought on a guy and said,
and by the way, I looked at that RV and it was huge.
It's like, how many people will we fit? 20, 30 people in there? And the guy's like,
2.
8, maybe
two.
tops.
They'll fit 2.
It was such a misjudgment of space in an RV. I just couldn't. I was shocked.
I'm telling you, the place was huge. It was such a big RV. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of people. No, that's for somebody that's retiring. It's just his and hers. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's actually a pop-up tent.
All right, let's get back. We are down to the top 5, Hans. Again, our number 10 through number 6, Jacob Robinson, Jordan Vincent, Tyler Batty, Chase Roberts, and Mekhi Bernard. Let's go back to Logan. Your state leader in rushing yards, Rasul Faison, comes in at number 5 from Utah State. He was going to split carries with Briggs to start the season. Briggs goes out with the injury, and Rasul Faison, all he does is play all 12 games, 200 carries, 1,200 yards to go along with 8 touchdowns, averaged 93 yards a game, including 5.6 yards a carry. And he really, literally had to carry that offense for a good chunk this year. But you get to 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns, that gets you into the top 5 in our re-rank.
And this was an offense that led the country in a lot of categories and finished in the top 10, didn't they? Or top 15?
Top 10.
Top 10. This was an offense that it was a spark plug offense. So we had to judge a couple of these offensive players pretty high because they carried an offense that finished high for all universities in the country.
Yeah.
And Faison was a big part of that. Just his constant threat was a big part of it.
And while Utah State only finished the season at 5-7, it wasn't the offense that was an issue for Utah State. It was their defense, and that's what kept them out of a bowl game and out of contention for a Mountain West Conference, at least a run for a regular season championship because let's just be honest, the offense was not a problem. That's even with a lot of issues at quarterback where it started with Petrus, then they went to Barnes, then back to Petrus, and then Barnes finished off the year. And Bryson played really well near the end of the year. But offensively, Faison is going to be a tough guy to replace.
Well, really tough. And for anybody arguing that L.J. Martin or Mekhi Bernard should be in front of Rajul Faison, everybody needs to understand he led in carries, he led in yardage, he led in touchdowns, and then he did everything else well.
Yeah.
So, and he was he led in all those categories for an offense that was statistically higher than any of the other offenses here in the state.
And by the way, an element of his game that I know you'll appreciate, really good blitz pickup. A lot of great recognition, catching blitzing linebackers, able to stonewall them, give your quarterback an extra second or two. Really good in that aspect of his game.
So tell me what's next for Faison.
He, as a junior college player, got a year of eligibility, I believe, and he has hit the transfer portal. I'm not exact. I think it's South Carolina. I think
took some money.
He got, he's gonna get paid, and I believe it's South Carolina where he'll end up finishing if he does in fact get that extra year of eligibility, which it sounds like he will. But Utah State averaging 32 points a game, and let's stay with Utah State as Rasul Faison comes in at number 5, and at number 4, it is Jalen Royals leading the team in receiving touchdowns and leading the state in yards per game at 119 yards per game. This was a tough one, Hans, because Jalen Royals only played 7 games this year, but he had 55 receptions, which are 3 more than Chase Roberts. He had 20 yards less than Chase Roberts. Chase Roberts had 854. Jalen Royals had 834 yards. Jalen Royals had 6 touchdowns. Chase Roberts had 4. And Jalen Royals averaged 119 yards per game. Had he played a full season, he only played 7 games, he would have been a 1,500 yard receiving season for Jalen Royals. So, again, he's number 4 in the state, and his numbers put him there in that top 5, and that's only with 7 games that he played on the year. But, again, he only played 7 games, so how much do you hold that against him? The numbers themselves stand on their own at 119 yards per game.
Well, the crazy thing about it, even crazier than the games played and the numbers put up, is the quarterbacks thrown to him.
Exactly.
Like, if he had a Bonner that was thrown to him, a consistent quarterback that he had great connectivity with, but he was going through different quarterbacks and being asked to do different things and was still coming up with major production.
There's, by the way, Nate just played it too. A great highlight of Jalen Royals and a long touchdown reception against Boise State, where there's a free safety that he put a move on that just embarrassed. And this free safety was an all Mountain West Conference guy, and he flat out embarrasses the guy in the open field. He's got speed, he's got size, he's got athleticism, had a really good Senior Bowl, and he's going to be, probably a 3rd or 4th round draft pick.
Should go.
Yeah.
3rd or 4th. That's kind of where I was slotting him. And he'll have a great career too. I think he'll have a great career as long as he can stay healthy. What was it that took him out?
A foot injury.
It was foot.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Because did he play in the New Mexico game?
No, I don't believe he did.
Because that was the game. That was the game. That was the bowl buster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Utah State makes a bowl. If they just hold on to the lead.
Yep.
And don't let New Mexico pull off a miracle at the end of that game. And I couldn't remember if Jalen played in that game.
He did, actually. I'm sorry. He had 11 catches, 188 yards in that game against New Mexico, and a touchdown.
Special player, man.
Yep. He had a 200-yard receiving game in Boise against the Broncos. 9 catches, 211 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Boise State. 10 for – these are his last 4 games before he went out with injury. 10 for 112 and a touchdown against Temple. 9 catches, 211 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Boise State. 10 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown against UNLV. 11 catches, 188 yards, and a score against New Mexico. And then he gets hurt in that New Mexico game, and he's out for the year. But those are his 4 games he had going into the going into that injury.
So that New Mexico game, he did get injured in that one?
He did get injured at the end of that game, and that's what forced him to miss the rest of the year.
Dang. Well, didn't know what else to do with him. And people can be upset about it, but what do you do with him? Essentially, he leads in receiving yards through 7 games.
Yeah.
His draft status tells you that he's got to be up there. His usage when he was on the field was higher end than anybody else specialty-wise offensively.
Oh, by a mile.
So that Jalen Royals was a tough one for all of us to decide on.
All right, Hans and Scotty, we will announce our top 2. So our top 10 looks like this. Oh, yeah, we do have 3. Sorry. Yeah, we have number 3. So let's get to it. Number 3, Hans. Spencer Fano.
So we just can't say enough good about Spencer Fano.
Yeah.
And what he did in his season and where he finished. It's crazy because you pull up any of those specialty grades, whatever it is, PPF or PFF or whatever these PFF. Specialty grades are, and he pretty much leads in everything. His pass sets are very unique, but very, very, very unique, but very high level, great percentages. And his overall athleticism, it's as good as any tackle you're going to find. He's going to be, let's see, he'll be draft eligible next year.
Yes.
He'll be a top 3 round draft pick because of his versatility and because of his amazing speed. And Spencer Fano, in an offense that really struggled, Spencer Fano was one of the brightest spots of that offense. If not, he was the brightest spot of that offense. He was the brightest spot offensively probably through the last couple of years. So Nate's got a Spencer Fano package up here, and
the dude's a road grader, man.
Did he score that touchdown this year?
It was a 2-point conversion.
That's right. That's right. But you watch him just running guys off the line, multiple pancakes, buries dudes, plays low shoulder pads, great lower body power.
When he makes that jump to the next level, that dude's going to be making some money.
Yeah.
Do you think the size is there?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think it's there. What is he listed at? Is he listed at 6'5"?
Hold on.
Listed at probably 6'5", 350 or 320.
Yep.
6'5", what? 320? Maybe less.
Lloyd's pulling up the numbers.
Maybe 305.
That's the thing. He's not overly
302.
302. Yeah.
6'5", 302.
You put on another 10.
If you go onto the Utah website, it says 6'6". So
you put on another 10, 15 on him. Especially with that 6'6" frame, you got to be able to.
I could put another 10 pounds on him.
I mean, he hangs out with you and me. We can put 10 on him real quick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Got to put the good 10.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, it may not be a good 10, but we'll get you 10. That's not going to be a problem. We'll get you there.
I think he's got everything you need.
Yeah.
I think he's really nasty. I think his nastiness overcomes maybe lacking an inch or two to play an offensive tackle position in the NFL. His hand placements are so good. He's got such great interior strikes.
Yep. Just technically sound too.
Technically sound, but really nasty. So good at the poles, any type of pole game. He can get your reach blocks. I think he can overcome the size issue.
All right, your top 10 looks like this. Jacob Robinson at 10, Jordan Vincent at 9, Tyler Batty at 8, Chase Roberts at 7, Mekhi Bernard at 6, Rasul Faison at 5, Jalen Royals at 4, Spencer Fano at 3, and we will announce number 2 and number 1 when we come back. Hans and Scotty, our top 25 re-rank right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU.
Which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie,
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
As a local credit union dedicated to people over profits, UCCU has been helping people improve their financial lives for almost 70 years.
And we want you to know that no matter what financial challenges you're facing, you can always count on UCCU to help you thrive in any economic climate.
Simply put, UCCU isn't just a financial institution, we're a team.
And we'll help you get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Sorry, I meant a home run.
Ouch.
Which one are you?
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU,
which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie,
with the assist by UCCU.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
We're so old, we used to play junior jazz with Pistol Pete. Riverton Chevy, 100 years of service, and we're just getting started.
The Chevyweight Champ, Riverton Chevy.
Welcome back to the UCCU Savings Spotlight.
For today's Play of the Day, we're looking at freshman college student Allie Anderson.
Allie just got a lower rate on her auto loan by transferring it to UCCU,
which is why she's smiling right now.
And Allie's not finished yet.
Now she's signing up for UCCU Elevated Checking,
which comes with more savings on things Allie uses every day,
including an additional 0.25% off her auto loan.
An incredible alley-oop by Allie,
with the assist by UCCU.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads.
Stone wrapping up another edition of the show, but we still have 2 more selections to announce in our top 25 re-rank. By the way, this segment brought to you by ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready, your trusted partner in emergency preparedness. All right, Hans, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Number 2 and number 1. Number 2 in our top 25 re-rank. Let's go to BYU. Jack Kelly coming in at number 2.
Your Weber State transfer.
Yep.
People are going to hear that and think, what? Jack Kelly? Yeah, Jack Kelly. I'm going to give you one number that sets him apart from anybody else in this state. He ended up with 14 QB hurries, 14 quarterback hurries. He had 10 TFLs. He had 5 sacks. He had an interception. He forced 3 fumbles. He had a couple of fumble recoveries. He had 51 tackles. He was an absolute nightmare in quarterback contain.
Yeah.
And he was the second leading cause for that BYU defense to land statistically where it landed in pretty much every category.
Yeah.
And I'm still shocked at his level of play.
I will always go back to the moment when I really felt like BYU's defense was no joke and they were going to be a problem for teams all year long. And I forget the name of the quarterback that took over at SMU in the second half. And then
Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings. And Jennings is rolling out of the pocket, and that dude is lightning fast, and Jack Kelly tracks him from behind and brings him down short of the first down marker. And looked like Jack Kelly got shot out of a bullet or shot out of a gun and chased him down and rips him down. And I'm like, whoa, I remember just jumping out of my seat at home being like, what was that?
Yeah.
That's athleticism that we have not seen at that position at BYU in a while.
So you come out of that SMU game, and then you've got Wyoming, and the only thing that Wyoming could do offensively was Svoboda. Was that his name?
Yeah, the quarterback.
He could get off the edge a little bit.
Yeah. Couldn't throw the ball a lick.
And couldn't throw the ball a lick. And there were a couple of containment issues for a minute, and then they kind of figured things out. But you come out of that Wyoming game, and you got Kansas State. Kansas State was ranked in the top 25 at the time, maybe top 15. And they've got this kid, Avery Johnson, that's this nightmare of a scrambling running quarterback. And that was the moment. It was like Kelly was so good against Avery, and that led to him being good against every quarterback he'd meet through the rest of the season. And I thought that they did a really good job with him too, just using him in the right way with quarterback pressures. But 14 quarterback hurries, multiple quarterback hits. And you think about that Colorado game. So good.
Yeah.
So good in everything he was asked to do. So great job by Jack Kelly. It's very deserving of the number 2 spot.
And coming in at number 1, do I dare say where he ended up in our top 60 and 60?
No.
Just move on.
Let's leave that.
Just move on.
Your number 1 player in the state of Utah this past season from BYU, Isaiah Glasker.
What do you say?
He was not on our top 60 and 60. Well, let's just be honest. He was not on our top 60 and 60, and he's number 1 in our re-rank.
He had like 6 tackles the year before.
Yeah.
And very little usage.
And remember, we give these lists to coaches too, and they're the ones that scrub it and say, no, okay, this guy needs to be on your list. This guy needs to be taken off your list. And so even the coaches didn't put Isaiah Glasker on that initial top 60 ballot?
Isaiah Glasker ended up with 70 tackles. He led the state in TFLs at 14.5 TFLs. And it feels like 8 of those were on fourth down.
Yes.
You talk about a guy that plays with his hair on fire.
It's
constantly
Glasker.
On fire.
And when you need you bring up a really good point. The fourth downs, the fourth quarters, when you need that play, Isaiah Glasker was there.
He was great. 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups. He had another couple quarterback hurries. Isaiah Glasker is the defensive future, and he is going to be a top 2 round pick when all is said and done for Isaiah Glasker. He's going to be a top 2 round pick. He is Fred Warner-esque in his abilities. And he's still just a baby, just wrapping up his sophomore year at BYU, still just a baby. He led the Big 12 in TFLs. He was the only statistical leader in any category in the Big 12 out of the state of Utah. He's the only one that led in any statistical category. And it just happened to be the biggest one defensively, which is TFLs. 14.5, 3.5 sacks too.
Yeah.
So Isaiah Glasker, I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked that everybody missed on him. And, and I don't want anybody to say, oh, I saw it coming. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody did. Unless you're Isaiah Glasker or Isaiah Glasker's parents, you don't get to say, oh, we knew this was going to happen, because you didn't. So knock it off. All right. Hey, by the way, there you go. Top 25 re-rank is in the books. It's all available for you at KSLSports.com. Big thanks to Nate Dowdle doing a tremendous job and trying to make us look pretty. Online, again, the stream is available for you if you want to rewatch it or watch it for the first time. You're just listening to us on the radio and you want to see the highlight packages and everything else that goes along with it. It'll be posted for you at KSLSports.com. But Nate, awesome, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for helping us out.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Every year. Big thanks to Lloyd Cole, as always, doing his thing. And big thanks to you for listening. Back with you tomorrow. Remember, the top 25 re-rank is in the books. And Hans, we're just a few months away from starting our 60 and 60.
That's crazy. We will be out to spring ball in 1 month.
I love it. Let's go. All right, JJ and Alex coming up next. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.